Hello everybody and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. We're gonna be starting the final trial for stolen turnabout. October 14th, 9:41 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 4.
Hey, Nick.
What is it this time?
You won't believe how many people are here for the trial.
Well, it is a murder case.
What are you talking about? They're here for the trial next door.
Next door.
You don't know this, Nick? They're having Detective Atme's trial today.
Detective Atme.
They say they're going to try and unmask the mask.
Already? That was fast.
Boy, I'd love to see Mask the Mask's trial.
I know. By the way, where's Pearls?
Oh, she went back home. She said she can't neglect your training anymore.
I know you don't like me. Pearls has really gotten into her training lately, huh?
Yeah, ever since that incident last year.
Please, don't ignore me!
Oh, Mr. Delight, good morning.
No one likes me. No one would notice me even if I killed someone.
Come on, don't be silly. Well, wait a sec.
You don't mean you're the murderer? No. I'm just a poor thief. No, wait, that's not right. A thief can't only be poor. Now, let's see. According to Mr. Delight, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been sending him to help him commit the heists.
Do you think there's a connection between the thief and the murder, Nick?
It's possible. But today's trial is a race against the clock.
Huh? How come? Let's just take our time like always.
I'm afraid that's not an option. October 14th, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 6.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. You're ready? Preparation is the last refuge of the weak.
The fuck are you talking about? Okay, settle down, everyone. Let's begin with your opening statement, Mr. Godot.
He's got the judge in the palm of his hands. Yet again. Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war. That's all.
I'm afraid I have no idea what that means, Mr. Godot.
Ha! Then you need to get out more, Your Honor. Life is war, but that is exactly why you must be more precise in your wording. That's all my statement means. You understand now, right?
Yes. Well, then let me briefly summarize the details of this case.
Wow, the judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for a change.
The victim is Kane Bullard, CEO of KB Security. His body was found in a safe at approximately 9 a.m. on the morning of the 13th. However, the time of death was estimated as 1 a.m. of the previous day.
And that's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. That little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant.
Very well then, Mr. Godot. Please call your first witness.
I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial. But the first one is always the best.
Mr. Godot, your witness.
Okay then. Let's hear what the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight, has to say for himself.
The defendant? Well, Mr. Wright, does the defense have any objections? It may be a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but...
I remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then. We have no objections, Your Honor. The defense will allow Mr. Delight to testify.
Ah,
you've got guts, Wright.
Alright then, Mr. Ron Delight, please take the stand.
You did it, didn't you?
Yes.
What?
No, 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 no. That's not true.
For a moment there, I thought we'd set the record for the shortest trial ever.
Well, Mr. Delight already looks plenty guilty with that face he's making.
And once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably be the last nail in his own coffin. He'll probably put the last nail in his own coffin. Ha! Very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why did you go to KB Security?
Well, It's kind of hard to say. Boy, I wish I could go home.
Now then, let's hear some testimony about what happened.
My visit to KB Security. That evening, around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. I'd been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was.
1 a.m., the exact time the murder took place. The weak get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink it up. Ha! It's bitter today too, just like my destiny.
You'd never know that from the way he's chugging it down. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please. That evening, around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security.
1 a.m., huh? You're absolutely sure about that?
Yes, that's what my watch said when I was entering the CEO's office. No. Actually, I'm not really sure. My watch was slow and my internal clock was also a bit...
1 a.m. That's the exact time the victim, Mr. Bullard, was murdered, correct? It's too late for a coffee date, that's for sure.
The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there.
It ordered you there?
It was the first time I'd gotten a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere.
Does that mean you've gotten other blackmail letters then?
Oh, of course. They'd say things like, steal this or take that.
Why don't we save those for later, Mr. Delight? Please don't say any more. Now, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? What should I do, Mr. Phoenix, right? So, what did the blackmail letter in question say?
It said to bring $50,000.
Money, eh? A perfect motive for committing murder.
Oh, but wait! Wait! I never intended to pay that money anyway.
Oh, is that right?
After all, he had nothing to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of.
An important point indeed. Witness, let's have that added to your testimony.
Yes, sir.
Ha. A muddy mudskipper in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do.
The blackmail thread didn't scare me. It wasn't going to cause me any trouble or anything.
Just what were you being blackmailed about anyway? The blackmail letter said if you don't want your identity revealed, correct?
I'm sure it was referring to the whole mask-to-mask thing. But I wasn't worried. Mr. Bullard didn't have anything on me.
He didn't?
Anyway, I don't care what anyone says about me. Just as long as Desi believes in me.
So that's why Miss Delight didn't believe he was Mask the Mask.
That's why I knew they were just hollow threats. I'd been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was.
You used to be a security chief for KB Security, right?
Yes, that's right.
A security chief? You? And yet, a year ago you were fired without notice. Revenge for an old grudge. A perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say? This isn't good. Maybe I should change the subject? Oh. Mr. Delight, please tell us why you were fired from your job.
Well,
The world is filled with those who have said, I wish I had never asked that.
Okay, then I take it back. Defendants, please answer the question.
I needed money.
You needed money?
Well, you see, Desi loves to spend it. It's kind of her hobby.
Not exactly the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick?
My salary wasn't nearly enough, so I stole data from the company.
Come again?
KB Security has a lot of security info in all sorts of companies. And since I was a security team chief...
You stole some data and sold it.
Mr. Bullard found out, and I was fired immediately.
What? I wish I had never asked that.
I was somehow able to keep it a secret, and made it seem like I had quit on my own.
What is it, Nick? You don't look so good.
Someone who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. You do well to remember that.
He sure told you. So you admit that you stole data from your company, is that correct?
Yes, I'm sorry.
This is a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony.
Oh man, this whole thing just took a big turn for the worst. Crashed and blew up. It's gonna take the jaws of life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster. He fired me for selling company secrets, but Desi doesn't know about that.
Why would you do something like that?
Well, for Desi's hobby, what else?
Wasting money, huh?
It's not a waste!
So, Miss Delight doesn't know that her husband shouldn't that be Mrs.? That her husband was fired, does she?
So it would seem.
I'm not sure what to think about couples who keep secrets like that from each other.
I can't believe it. This case has got even Maya to think seriously about couples.
Please try to stay focused, Mr. Wright. There wasn't much to his testimony, was there?
Sounds like he's avoiding something. At least, that's what it sounds like to me.
Uh-oh, I've got a bad feeling about this. We'd better be careful.
But if we don't find a way to make him spill the beans, we'll never get closer to the truth.
Yeah.
Thread? Oh my, there's so many typos in this case. The blackmail thread. Just what were you being blackmailed about anyway?
The blackmail letter said if you don't want your identity revealed, correct?
I'm sure he was referring to the whole mask the mask thing.
Objection.
I'm afraid that reason isn't going to hold up anymore.
What do you mean?
The victim had no proof the defendant was masked to mask, but you were the one who stole company secrets only 1 year earlier. But that was all over with once I was fired. But it is true that the fact I stole secrets was kept under wraps. Even so, there is no reason for me to pay up now, a whole year later. Is that really true?
What is it, Nick?
The fact that Ron was stealing company data. I wonder if he would have had a problem with if that ever became public knowledge. Mr. Delight, I believe you would have been in considerable trouble if your identity as a company data thief was made public.
Mr. Wright? What are you trying to do by bullying your own client?
Ha! Men are like colonies of bacteria. The more heat you apply, the faster they grow. That's exactly right. Well then, feel free to keep up the heat, my little lawyer amigo.
Little lawyer amigo?
Yes. Now come on, provide some evidence to back up your assertion. Why would Mr. Delight want to keep his data stealing secret from going public? Where is she? Mr. Delight, what you said just now doesn't match with what you told me yesterday. Huh? What doesn't? I think you must have been scared, very scared, of having a certain person find out your secret.
A certain person?
Miss Desiree Delight, the defendant's wife.
Listen to me, my Desi, she's...
Looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins. Godot. Yes, we know. It was all your wife's fault.
What do you mean?
Mr. Delight stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habit, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. And that is how this murder came about.
Oh, No, everything is falling neatly into place for him. Don't talk about my Desi like that, or you'll be sorry. Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here so far. What do you think, Nick?
I didn't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes.
Clearly, there was sufficient motive for murder. He stole data for his wife, and he killed to protect his secret. Family man who cared just a little too much.
The motive is clear. Let's move on. What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delight? Come now, tell us. We're all ears.
At the CEO's office. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there, dead. I see. Suddenly hit on the forehead, huh? I believe the detective from yesterday provided similar testimony. He said that the mask struck him on the head from behind. Of course, since Atme turned out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie.
Ha! No one's going to believe a pathetic lie like that.
What are you saying? I really was attacked. We'll find out if what you say is true or not during the cross-examination.
Got that, Mr. Wright? Don't go easy just because he's your client. If I see any sign that you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend.
You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Godot. I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it. At the CEO's office. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Who was this suspicious shadow? If there was 1,000 of me, and if even one of them, I'd tell you, trust me. His dodging of all of our questions is not helping us win his case.
Okay, then, how was the victim, Mr. Bullard, at that time?
What do you mean by how was he?
Was he already dead? Was he still alive? Maybe he was the one who hit you in the first place.
That's a good question. What do you think, Mr. Wright?
Forget it.
Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remembered being a bit dazed.
Your forehead?
Yes, I was hit on the forehead as soon as I entered the room. It was an amazingly fast and powerful attack.
Do you remember anything about who hit you?
Well, like I said, it was a fast and powerful hit, so I think I was a little dazed for a while. I don't think Mr. Delight grasped what you were asking.
Yeah, I'd like to show him a fast and powerful attack myself. Maybe that would knock some sense back into him.
If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed.
That? Could you please clarify what you're referring to?
Why, the mask costume, of course.
Wait just a moment. The mask?
Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as the mask. And then I descended upon the office of the CEO of KB Security.
What?
Nick, did you know about this? He never told me this.
I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me either. Even I didn't know that. It seems our little friend really loves to keep secrets.
I'm sorry. I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. Wait. That's not right. You know how sometimes things just slip your mind?
Ha! My 6th cup of coffee is staring up at me coldly.
At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Witness, please correct your testimony. I'd have been killed if I had been wearing my Mask the Mask costume.
Why were you dressed up as Mask the Mask?
Why, because I'm Mask the Mask, of course. What are you talking about? Mask the Mask's trial is being held next door. Yes, I guess so. Anyway, at that time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the Mask issue. So I thought I should go as him, just to be safe.
Oh boy.
Let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than I expected.
Took a lot longer? What is he talking about? What do you mean by took a lot longer?
Oh, opening the safe, of course. My cape got caught on the safe door, you see. This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullet's body. Whoa, what was that? Back up a second. Yes? You were the one that hid the body in the safe? Well, yeah. Inconceivable! Why? Just why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking?
Question. When does someone toss their dirty shorts in the washing machine?
What?
The answer is simple. When they take them off.
As usual, I have no idea what you're saying.
Do you mean that Mr. Delight hid the body because he's the murderer? So you're not as stupid as you look.
His metaphor this time was really obscure. Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you? Well, yes. Why am I the only one not in the loop here? Witness, make sure that you add this to your testimony. Yes, sir.
Uh-oh. Looks like a storm front is moving in over the fair weather judge.
I panicked and hid the body in the safe. It took about 10 minutes.
Why did you hide the body in the safe anyway?
Well, because it wouldn't fit in a drawer.
That's not exactly what I meant.
When I saw the corpse, I kind of lost it. I thought, if they find his corpse, they'll think I did it.
I think you had a simpler reason than that. It's because you killed him. That's why you spent 10 minutes hiding the body.
That certainly makes more sense.
Hold on. 10 minutes?
What is it, Nick?
I just had a thought. Under those circumstances, would you normally try to hide the body? And spend 10 whole minutes to do it?
Under those circumstances? What circumstances? Oh! Hey, Nick, if you think his behavior was so strange, why don't you present some evidence that would show just what those circumstances were?
That's it. I'll take a look at the court record and present some evidence.
We heard this from Mr. Delight yesterday, didn't we?
There's not much in this testimony either.
I bet you he's still hiding something.
I wouldn't be surprised. We'll just have to draw it out of him.
I just hope he doesn't make things any more complicated. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious Okay. When I came to, Mr. Bullet was lying there, dead.
I didn't press that one yet, I think. When you came to?
Yes, I was passed out in the corner of the room.
Do you know when your assailant made their escape, and to where?
I'm afraid I don't really remember.
Huh?
Once they hit me, I lost all track of what was going on. I think that's when they made their escape.
Ha! That's certainly a convenient story for you, isn't it?
It certainly is, isn't it, Mr. Wright? It sounds almost practiced.
I don't know what you're telling me!
Bum, bum, bum. Panicking about... Shit, okay.
Okay. Where's the buzzer? Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record?
And what might this be?
The record for the emergency buzzer that connects the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, a security team is supposed to come running. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once, at 1:02 a.m.
What?
If Mr. Rondelite truly was the murderer, he would have ran as soon as that buzzer sounded. After all, the security guard would have been heading his way. Ha! Let's remember who we're dealing with here. You probably had no idea there were security personnel in the building. Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as a chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them. But, as it turns out, the guard never came. That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser, who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend, and wasn't anywhere in the vicinity was not something Mr. Delight could have known. The fuck are you talking about? Ha! Again, remember who we're dealing with here. It's a sure bet that Mr. Delight didn't even notice the buzzer going off. The objections. Back and forth. This buzzer is extremely loud. There is no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is.
Conscious? What do you mean by that?
Ugh. Fine. Let's hear your theory. Remember the defendant's testimony. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Delight said he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes.
Unconscious? So he fainted?
That's what Mr. Delight didn't know. That's why Mr. Delight didn't know that the buzzer had sounded. And that's why he thought he had time to hide the body. So what are you trying to say? Mr. Delight was knocked out, and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right. Whoever it was knocked out Ron Delight and then pressed the buzzer.
Order in the court! Mr. Wright, this is...
This is preposterous. It was the kid. Ron Delight is the one who killed Kane Bullard. Then who pressed the buzzer? It was the victim, of course. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. He didn't die right away. He must have held on long enough to push that button.
Ah. So Kane Bullard sounded the buzzer himself. What is your opinion on this, Mr. Wright?
I need to prove that the real criminal was there at the scene, but how? Can I prove that it wasn't Kane Bullard who sounded the buzzer? I think so, because if I remember correctly, there are no fingerprints, yeah. The defense's opinion is this, Your Honor. This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. I believe this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence you were looking for.
The emergency buzzer? Is there some kind of clue on it?
Absolutely not. Hey, come on now. At least give some thought to what you say before opening your mouth. The fact that there are absolutely no clues is itself the clue.
Now I'm the one who's clueless.
This button has no fingerprints on it. If Mr. Bullard had really pressed it himself, naturally he would have left his fingerprints behind. Ron Delight obviously wiped them off. Why would he? A guard could have come in at any moment. He touched that button. I know he did. The defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Mask the Mask. And Mask the Mask always wears gloves. What reason could he possibly have had to wipe the button free of his fingerprints?
Order, order, order!
Ah, it would seem I've been forced to eat crow.
I wonder what blend number crow-flavored coffee is. However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would that person press the emergency buzzer? Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger? What's with this awkward silence all of a sudden?
Ha! It looks like you're fresh out of parlor tricks.
They're onto you, Nick.
Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts. The real culprit killed Mr. Bullard at around 1 a.m.
And Mr. Light just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, right?
The killer clobbered Mr. Delight and then sounded the buzzer.
Even though security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed.
Security was supposed to respond.
Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say.
Very well, then. Uh-huh. You've got some guts. Oh, I like that in an opponent.
Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer?
The killer knew that if they pressed that button, a guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted.
Do you mean to say the killer called the guard on purpose?
Yes, although as it turned out, he never showed up.
Because he was getting his clock cleaned at the time.
Ha! What a touching story. You're saying the killer had a change of heart and called the guard to turn himself in? No, I'm not. When that buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, Kane Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Rhonda Light, who was out cold. And the 3rd person, the real killer.
Hypothetically, yes.
Now then, in this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would have happened? The only ones left in the room would be the victim and Rhonda Light. And if any security guards came running in at that time, they would think that I was the murderer. Yes, that was precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Rhonda Light for the murder. Whoa!
Order, order, order.
Ah, it would seem I've been made to eat my words once again.
Actually, you've been made to do a spit take with a cup of coffee.
Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was it that tried to frame me? Wait a second. I'm the one who only masked the mask, so...
Nick, you mean the real killer is...
We're going to drag that person in here right now.
But, who is it?
I don't have any solid proof yet, but think about it. The killer knew Mr. Delight's identity, and they also knew that he had been called to KB security that night. So the killer used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Kane Bullard.
Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Who was it that framed Mr. Rondelight for the murder of Kane Bullard?
Detective Luke Atme. He's the only one who could have done it. Ace Detective
Luke Atme? You mean Mask the Mask did it?
Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Mask the Mask at all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of Kane Bullard.
Order, order! Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Theft and murder. Which is the more serious crime?
They're not even close. Murder is the more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to a capital punishment.
Please remember the trial from yesterday, if you would. When Luke Atme confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom. Of course, a famous detective was unmasked as, well, as Mask the Mask. Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along.
To be found guilty?
Mask the Mask had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn at Lordly Taylor. In other words, being found guilty as Mask the Mask was Luke Atmy's airtight, watertight, and unassailable alibi.
A guilty verdict? As an alibi?
You know, it's almost time.
For what?
For Luke Atmy's verdict. It was a pretty simple trial, after all. If we're going to stop this trial and stall that one, we need to do it now. Of course, that's assuming you have proof that the detective was the one who committed the murder.
Mr. Luke Atmy's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If we were to intrude and fail to provide adequate proof of his true crime, Mr. Light would be left with no grounds for appeal.
Am I really sure about this? A bet's only good when your life's the ante.
Mr. Wright, I believe in you.
Mr. Delight.
So, please, I'm begging you.
Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this?
Phoenix?
What was that?
Don't stray, Phoenix. For your client, take the path of trust.
That voice. It sounded like... Mia! Your Honor, the defense requests an immediate recess. So that's your answer, huh?
Very well, I've decided as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Mr. Luke Atmy to the stand.
Yes, Your Honor. October 14th, 11:58 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 5.
Well, Sir Detective Atmy.
I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly.
Oh, no, Sir Detective Atmy. You were the one who...
That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant, Luke Atmy. Wait! Don't hand down your verdict yet, please! Well, Sir Lawyer. Welcome to my courtroom.
Who's this hosiery?
My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law, and I wish to file an accusation against this man, Luke Atmy.
Accusation? You accuse Mask the Mask.
That man is not Mask the Mask. He's just a ruthless murderer. What? He's nervous. To be continued. And we'll continue this trial and finish this trial next time. Bye-bye.